All right, I'd like to call to order the Town of Swanton Selectboard meeting. It is Tuesday, May 19th, 2026, and it's 6:01 PM. If everyone would, please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Agenda review, start with Christina.
I'm all set, thank you.
Kathy,
I'm good, thank you.
Nicole,
I'm all good, thank you.
Nicole,
I'm all good, thank you.
Earl,
Good. I'm good.
Ron,
All set, thanks.
Brian.
I've got one thing under correspondence, which is basically a verbal communication. Also, I have a letter that the village would like the board to consider supporting a grant, and I have it ready for Joel's signature, so that probably should go under new business. It's an AOT grant for the Grand Avenue sidewalk replacement.
Letter of support for the village. Okay. All right,
You also need to add executive session.
Oh, yes, executive session personnel.
okay, so that'll be after upcoming events. Okay. Minutes, regular select board meeting of May 5, 2026. Entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved. I was not there, so I did not vote. Public comments. This is for anything that is not on our agenda tonight. I know we got a few people in the audience. If there's something that is not on the agenda and you want to speak, now would be a good time, and then there'll be an opportunity at the end as well. Yes, sir.
Should I stand or?
You can sit right there. And,
All right.
Yep.
My name is James Lynch. I live in Berkshire, Vermont, and I'm a Republican running to be the next sheriff of Franklin County. I have nearly 30 years of county law enforcement experience, 5 years with the Addison County Sheriff's Department, and nearly 24 years at Franklin County. My goals as the next sheriff include providing quality law enforcement and security services to the towns and organizations within Franklin County, establishing meaningful relationships with all the towns in Franklin County, and reclaiming 2 state-paid deputy positions that were allocated to the Chittenden County Sheriff's Department. Those positions are vital for the continued prosperity of our organization. I thank you very much for your time this afternoon.
Okay. Anybody else? Next item is Swanton Police Department. That's on page 5 in our packet. Excuse me. Chief, how we doing this evening?
Oh, well, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
All right, so month of April,
Does he have his hand up? No, does he have a question?
No, that's the cursor.
Okay, it's changed. Okay, we're good then. No,
It does
sure.
look like it.
Chief Sullivan, do you mind just moving the mouse just to make sure?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I didn't
All right.
have to do this.
Chief?
so the month of April 2026, we had 151 incidents in the town. The top 10 incident sites were 87 traffic stops, 23 directed patrols, 5 suspicious, 4 community outreach, 4 agency assists, 3 DUI, 3 motorist assists, 2 noise disturbance, 2 DLS, and 2 VIN verifications. Out of those 87 traffic stops, there were 32 tickets issued and 74 warnings. And just to give you some idea as to where a lot of those stops were, which obviously you have in your packet, there were 23 on County Road, 15 on North River, 13 on St. Albans Road, 6 on Bushy Road, and 6 on I-89. There were 8 arrests representing, well, there were 8 arrests of 8 individuals and 9 charges, criminal charges. There were 28 additional service hours. which some of that was probably preparation for the possible protest at Border Patrol facilities. Headquartered at 155 Grand Avenue.
And that was uneventful?
It did not materialize.
They
stayed
moved.
in St. Albans.
Right, they said that they
Yeah.
were just,
So essentially what happened was we were given information that the organizers of Ice Out showed up at Border Patrol facilities in Highgate and then also in Swanton Town on Grand Avenue. And so they essentially let Border Patrol know that they may actually protest those facilities or sit in at those facilities. I think their words were sit in. And but then I received communication later, about a week later, right before the protest was scheduled for, I believe it was May 8th, that they were not intending on showing up at the Swanton facilities, that they were going to stay in St. Albans. They had received a permit for 1,000 people in St. Albans. And then their plan was to go across the street to begin in Taylor Park and then move across the street to essentially the old post office building or passport agency, where there are federal offices. So that's my understanding is what they actually did. So that was uneventful, thankfully, but there was quite a bit of preparation for us involved in that and overtime and having officers in. They're staged essentially in case there were issues as far as traffic control and that sort of thing.
hopefully, we don't have that again for a while.
Yeah, I mean, my understanding was it was more or less, peaceful.
Yes, I was talking with my neighbor about it, and he told me all about it, and very interesting that they actually put stuff on the walls of the building, but they cleaned it off after. Whatever they used wasn't like a paint that was gonna stay and everything. And, yeah, very, very staged, and gets them a headline, and then they move on somewhere else. Thank goodness they didn't turn back.
Yeah, and it was great that actually I will hand it to them also as far as their level of communication, reaching out ahead of time, because I think that's really critical for law enforcement in responding to these incidents, is having a point of contact. If things start to spiral, who should we go to try to rein it in? And so that's really important with these things. Because I know in speaking with the Commissioner of Public Safety after the South Burlington incident, some of the organizers associated with migrant justice refused to meet with the Department of Public Safety until after the action report was complete regarding that incident, which is not helpful, because if there was another incident in the meantime, there's no understanding as to how law enforcement is going to react to certain behavior by protesters.
How are we doing manpower wise? Last time you talked to us, things looked like they were going pretty good still.
We are fully staffed.
That's excellent.
We definitely, again, could use 3 more positions in an ideal world at least, so that we have a staffing buffer. But we're fully staffed as of right now. Our newest employee will be attending the full-time academy this fall. And so he's registered and ready to go for that.
Folks, any questions for the chief?
I got one. So on here it says operating without proof of financial responsibility. That just driving with no insurance.
Correct. Yeah, does it list the statute or no? Is it 800?
If you need to get that.
No, at least not the.
Does not have statute next to it. I just wondering,
Yeah, but
something I
that's-
don't usually see is.
That's what it is. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Any other questions, folks? If not, chief, I guess we're quiet tonight.
Yeah, I will say, I think, again, just to obviously you've seen it in the statistics. The guys are doing a great job with enforcing traffic and addressing the drug issue. I mean, we continue to run into people suffering from substance use disorder. I don't know why that's not muted, because I muted it. And so the guys are doing a great job at addressing that. You know, I think we're up to we may be over 700 traffic stops right now for the year. So that's a huge increase over last year where we were 450-ish for the whole year.
Yeah, no, that's a great thing, and especially now with the summer months coming, driving on my Quam short tonight, I was doing 46, so I was over, 2 vehicles passed me. You know, so stay out there and keep the blue lights going.
Yeah, we will.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Swanton Animal Control is on page 21. One still not licensed.
As of the end of April. But fairly low activity for the month of April.
No, I haven't. Any questions at all? All right, we'll move right along. Highway, we'll talk about the paving separately. Kevin's on vacation, be coming back Wednesday. They've been doing tree and shrub removal, they'll be doing trees for the next probably year and a half. They've worked on some of their equipment. Down at the museum, they're cleaning up the parking lot a little bit. People, when they're stopping in there to go walking on the path or biking, they're driving off the pavement and running the place up pretty good. So I had them go in, clean that up, stone it, and then eventually we'll probably pave it, but not right now. They've been sweeping of the streets and in the developments, cleaning things up from the past winter. They got plenty to do for the summer, but they're keeping busy, and all the equipment right now is working at 100%. Any questions at all? I guess one thing I'll just mention is we're looking at, you know, that Bushy Road 207 intersection where they showed us some possible striping. I was told Kevin would get a price from a contractor to do it. Kevin said they might even do it themselves, so it's something we can do and see if that helps calm anything out there. Moving on to orders. The dates are April 22nd, 2026 to May 19, 2026, so we don't need to repeat the dates. We'll start with the general orders. Entertain a motion to approve the general orders. $134,070.89.
I'll make a motion to approve the general orders at $134,070.89.
Wait a second.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Entertain a motion to approve the highway orders in the amount of $61,493.49.
I'll make that motion.
There's a second.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved. Library, entertain a motion to approve the orders. 2,000, that should be a comma, $687.12.
I'll make that motion.
There's a second.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. What's the hazard mitigation at 0?
It's,
If there was a FEMA
I've
payout.
had a FEMA, it's gonna be something we're gonna continually not have all the time, but randomly have, so it's just 0
Okay.
this time.
Highway and general payroll for a total of $36,611.65. Entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the highway and general payroll orders at $36,611.65.
There a second?
I'll second.
Motion been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye. Opposed? So moved. Entertain a motion to approve the library payroll in the amount of $11,247.63.
I'll make a motion to accept the library payroll orders.
There a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye. Opposed? So moved. Entertain a motion to approve the special orders, $2,633.17.
I'll make a motion to approve the special orders at $2,633.17.
Here a second?
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Okay. Item number 6A is the tabled item of May 5, 2026 Select Board meeting on recreational vehicle purchase. That starts on page 23. I think we are aware of the different bids that were received. I think the question was, where's the money gonna come from? So, I guess that's where, we start our discussion. I'm talking a little bit with the rec, and saw the email that Betsy had sent. They still have their carryover. I know they're able to look at some other funds and so on. I'm proposing that, out of our, special funds, the LVRT balance that we have, that, we put $18,000 out of that money toward this purchase. Now, one thing I noticed tonight when I'm looking over these bids, says it does not include state taxes, so,
We don't pay
It's
tax.
tax exempt.
okay, it's even better.
That was a quick answer.
We don't pay, that's why.
Okay, that's good, so if we go, depending on what vehicle people think, all-wheel drive, we have the one all-wheel drive at, what, 67,000 and the one at 68,000, so I don't know what the difference was between them.
Yeah, we were looking at that today, and I don't really know what the difference is.
The one at 68 has a backup alarm
Okay.
and the fancier trim. That's the only difference between the two.
Moving kids and young ones around, the backup alarm, as far as I'm concerned, is
Yeah.
worth every penny.
Exactly.
And
But,
kayaks.
And kayaks, yeah.
so, don't know what the board's thoughts are, but, and I do think all-wheel drive, especially if, you know, if skiing trips or something ever become a possibility, certainly, all-wheel drive in Vermont's weather is important. So, again, I don't know. We were gonna talk about special funds later. There was a
We didn't vote on
sheet of paper,
who we,
that
we
in
didn't
the
vote on.
LVRT,
Okay, okay.
there's roughly 37,000,
It's like 36,275 that was left over.
Okay,
That's
so-
rough. I don't have that number in front of me, but, oh yeah, it's actually on the sheet. It was 36,275.86.
that was money earmarked for the construction, and that balance doesn't take into account the 4,500 that are in a separate line
No,
item, does it?
separate item.
Right,
Yeah, separate. So with the money we had before, we now have an uncommitted balance of 170,135.56.
And we'll talk more about special funds, but I'm just saying that's one possible source to, get that money from. And we'll open that up, for discussion.
The
I
one
don't
thing
have this.
one thing I could think of is, and we got a quote for the insurance, where would that money come from, direct budget yearly, or where would it come, okay.
Well, I'm thinking yes, but
Yeah.
did you ever get the quote on the
Yeah,
insurance?
$755 a year,
Oh,
approximately.
yeah.
Yeah.
And where would money for any potential repairs down the line come from?
Well, that would probably have to go into the rec budget.
No, right, but,
Then
okay.
you're gonna, with,
Yeah, maintenance.
you know, it is all-wheel drive, but come in the fall, you should be buying snow tires for it, so, stuff like that. would
Yeah.
come out of the rec
That makes sense.
That would have to be budgeted for vehicle maintenance.
Yeah.
So what was the rollover from last year?
It was 46,891.06.
Anybody else? Anybody wanna, and first of all, do we agree on the vehicle? I guess that's the starting point.
Yeah, I think the one that's 60,000 makes most sense safety wise. Yeah, I think that makes most sense. It's gonna need to be all-wheel drive. With kids, you're gonna want as many safety features as possible. I think that makes most sense.
I mean, another line item in our special funds is, and we discussed this when we were discussing the vehicle, was the actual 567,000. That is for a community center rec building, of which there was talk that night of not wanting to really go into that. There has to be a whole lot of fundraising if we're gonna build a $3 to $4 million facility, so $18,000 now is not really gonna have a big impact on that, but that's another source too. But just throw that out, that's all out of the special funds money. Nicole, any thoughts?
Well, I have all kinds of thoughts, Joel. I mean, I think there, with using the rollover money, I think there is some contributions that can be made out of our special funds, but it would really it'd be extremely helpful to have the support of some of the special funds from the town to purchase the vehicle. This can bring such value to our community. Funny, non-funny story today. Some residents from San Diego, California came to explore Swanton. They wanted to use some kayaks. They did not have means to move the kayaks to the water to enjoy the delta and to enjoy Swanton for the day. So I found a way. And I drive a Mini Cooper for anybody that wants to know. So that can be used as a tool to continue to drive people into our community. And I think as we plan for a community center, there is an opportunity to recoup any money that we do take out of that line item, because I feel like this brings a significant investment back to our community, not just for residents, but for folks that are looking to explore, play, and really embrace all that Swanton has to offer. So I would ask the board to consider taking it out of the recreation line item for a community center, as I feel that you're right, that fundraising campaign is going to be is gonna be quite large, and I have faith that we're going to be able to put a lot of effort into raising those funds to help offset those costs to the taxpayers.
Earl?
Well, I said this at our last meeting, I mean, they do have a capital reserve. And I suggested that we split the difference between special funds and their capital reserve.
So our capital reserve funds, as I told you at the last meeting, they're kind of broken out in categories.
I
So we
understand
can't-
that,
There's some that we could,
yeah,
I'm not,
yeah.
that we could use, but not all of it, because those are earmarked for certain projects that we have.
I understand that, but there's a capital reserve in your budget every year that the
Right.
voters approve.
Right.
That's where I was suggesting the money come from, not from your special funds that you have for other things. So,
But the capital, that is also used for projects outside of those line items.
Like I said, they are being used
Right.
for investment into the redevelopment that the rec brought to you at the end of last year for things like improvements to the maintenance building down back, and we need some playground repairs to continue to make that safe.
you have it all,
We're,
Quiet.
we're spending, we've expended some of that money because of improvement
so
projects.
what is the balance
Of what?
of the capital reserve that's in your
About
budget?
22,000.
So,
Nick, thoughts?
So, yeah, there's the special funds, there's the capital, and then the rest would be coming from surplus from your budget. And then we're debating whether or not to use the capital, your capital fund. So how much you said some of it's reserved for projects, so that 22,000 is what is, you could potentially
Unrestricted.
unrestricted. And why would you, just in general, what would you might use that money for if we didn't?
Well, any special, like our playground needed a repair, so we had to do that. We need electrical into the back parking area for the new maintenance building, so we use it for that. Anything that's not in our special funds line item, anything that arises.
Like if the
maybe
furnace
the
went
furnace,
bad, that could easily be $5
water
or something.
line, anything that's out of our control.
Okay, and you see
So if we use it and something happens,
something
then
could
we're
easily come up,
coming to the town.
yeah, yeah.
Ron, any thoughts?
So if we use the 18,000 from the LVRT special funds and our 46,891 rollover, I guess it's to 64,891. Can the rec come up with the other $4,000?
Yeah.
Anyone wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion approving the purchase of a recreation vehicle, $68,000 from E.J. Barrett. And I would use the rollover from the budget, the rec budget, and special funds to pay for it. And that's sufficient, I believe.
Well,
And then
are you supporting, when you say special funds, there's a special fund that is maintained by our general budget, and they have an area they call special funds. So we're talking about that, are we looking at an amount that would come out of our special funds to go to the rec?
Yeah,
How much?
the balance,
Well, the balance under the LVRT is 36 something, so what we were talking about was
is
taking a
18,
portion of that,
yeah,
right?
18, the 18 we were just talking about, yeah. So yeah, the 18.
Could I just mention something?
Yes.
When we bought the pickup truck for Kevin, we went bid price plus some couple of $1,000 authorization, just in case there's something that doesn't.
Well, it is noted in these quotes that documentation is not,
Documentation fee, yeah, and I don't
is not
think that
included,
was.
so.
Just in case.
Which I think it was in the other quote, which they're pretty standard
Yeah.
across the board, it was like,
Yeah.
what, $106
Okay.
or something?
So,
Okay,
So yeah, that would be I would approve the 18 out of the LVRT.
so what, give us your motion again.
So yeah, I would approve the purchase of a rec vehicle for 68,000 with money from the LVRT special funds at 18,000,
And the balance
and the balance from the
covered,
by the rec special fund.
do I hear a second?
So,
Guess I'll have to second it, won't I?
Well, I don't, Ron is not employed by rec.
Okay,
so
so he can, alright,
I think he could,
Okay.
without that being considered a conflict,
go ahead then.
I'll second
okay?
Good. Again, could I add?
Plus dock fees.
Can you authorize me to do the transaction with John?
And I authorize, yeah.
Okay, just like I did before.
Alright. So, as I understand it, the motion is authorizing the purchase of the van at $68,000. $18,000 coming out of the balance of the LVRT project money. Brian being authorized to sign for the procurement and the balance of the cost being paid for by rec department.
By rec, yeah.
68,000 plus any document fees.
Any document?
Right.
Yeah.
68,000 and then the document fees would be covered by the rec, yes. That's the motion?
That's the motion.
Seconded?
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any further discussion?
Nicole abstains.
Hearing none. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Alright.
Opposed? So moved. Update on the land swap. Brian, I believe that's you.
Yeah,
Have a good night.
2 weeks ago, everything was all set, but then the attorney for the school district said there's an undischarged mortgage out there. So we finally got that squared away last week. There wasn't. It has the one that's been discharged. There's no other mortgage out there. And so they're gonna get back to me. Have not heard from them since. They're trying to coordinate it, so it's still happening. We just tried to pin everybody down in one spot.
So we have all the paperwork now complete.
Yeah, the mortgage was
Right.
discharged, completely discharged.
So now it's just scheduling. We're back to just scheduling. The title search, whatever needs to be done, that's
Yeah,
complete.
yeah, she did, the attorney for the school district went to update the title and said they saw this mortgage out there. I don't know what they were seeing.
Okay. Anything else? We're gonna hold a party, I think, when we finally have that signed in. Just 2 years ago, we went out and talked to the school about it, and you were working it prior to that.
Yeah, took a long time.
I'll make some cookies in the shape of the property.
Update on the local option tax.
Okay, local option tax for the town of Swanton will happen July 1. So when you go to purchase something in the town of Swanton, starting July 1, there will be an extra 1% sales tax on there. All of the merchants and businesses that deliver into Swanton have been notified by the tax department. I have not received any calls wondering how they program their registers or whatnot, but, you know, they assume they know how to do that, and it's gonna happen. We do have a meeting on the agenda for the select board meeting June 2nd. The village trustees will be present and you'll be signing that sharing agreement. So I thought it would be nice if we all got together and went someplace and officially spent the first dollar at 12:01 a.m. on July 1st. But I'm sleeping at that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, 12:01. All right, well, that's good news, and I'm assuming, I haven't heard anything from the businesses either, so if they've been notified, then they must be it's something they can make happen. Alright. Next is Newtown business. 7A, petition received challenging select board vote on April 21, 2026 on zoning bylaw amendment. This was added after we received a petition and amendment to the petition, and that was received by the town clerk to verify the signatures, etc. And if we could get an update, please.
Okay, so on May 8th, Michael, I hope I'm not from petition room. Barrett submitted a petition with 273 signatures. On Monday, May 11th, 2026, Michael Disharoon Barrett submitted an amended addendum to the petition, which included 19 more signatures, for a total of 292 signatures. Swanton has 4,908 registered voters as of May 12th, 2026, which this petition required 5% of the legal registered voters in Swanton, resulting in 245 signatures needed. Of the 292 signatures, 21 are not registered voters, therefore bringing the number to 271. Since the petition was submitted, registered voters who indeed signed the petition inquired how to remove their signatures from the petition. We contacted VLC, and the response was they would need to request in writing to have their signatures removed from the petition. A form is created through the OISA VLCT. As of this date, we have received and removed 52 registered voters, leaving 219 valid signatures, which is not enough signatures to move this petition to an Australian ballot.
Okay, everybody hear that? Board members? Because we put this on here, and I believe what you told me at the time was the board had to decide what to do to move forward, right?
That's right.
Essentially say if we had enough signatures, the board would agree that it would go on the ballot. As of today, we do not have that number of signatures, so I don't believe there's any action the board can take at this time. So that's what your take is, that's what your take is, and so for board members, we're the first ones who can discuss this, and then I know there are some people in the audience here that might want a chance to speak. But as far as action from the board, I don't believe there's anything we can take action on tonight.
No, we're not obligated anymore. If the signatures were enough and legitimate, we would have to take action, but we don't now.
That's correct.
And actually, we passed the changes, so
The time has expired, so changes are in effect.
With that being said, how many people in here want to make a comment or so regarding this petition? I got 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, again, we don't have to take any action. Do want to give the public an opportunity to speak, but this can't become as a back and forth. An opportunity to speak, get on record what you want to say, and then we're gonna move on with tonight's agenda. So, start with you, sir.
Okay, does this mean that the field days cannot happen this year?
Can you state your name, please?
Fernand Gagne.
Okay, the question was, does this mean that field days cannot happen?
That's the question.
Okay, because of what the select board approved allows that to be a conditional use activity in that area. Now you have to go before the development review board, and I believe they scheduled something for this Thursday, right?
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday,
No, next.
yes. So next Thursday, I thought it was
No, it's
21st, okay, 28th. Next Thursday, you go before the Development Review Board, and they can talk to you about hours, traffic control, safety. It's a conditional use, so a conditional use is something that the Development Review Board can set some requirements and restrictions on. That's the next step, is getting that permit through the Development Review Board, and that has been warned. If there was gonna be a vote, if this petition had the number of signatures it needed and there was gonna be a vote, then we would put on hold all the changes that we approved. So the answer is, it should be able to go ahead, but you gotta get that development review board and the conditional use
So next Thursday or 2 weeks from now.
a week from, 9 days from now.
Okay, next Thursday, so they can approve our request to hold the field day time.
They,
Is that correct?
that is
As
correct,
long as we follow their conditional use.
right. They might say you can't be open till 2 in the morning. I don't know what your hour, I'm just giving an example. You might come in and say you wanna be from 7 in the morning to 3 in the morning. And they might,
It's not gonna be that.
no, I know, but that's the type of things that they,
Okay, I
and
understand.
they can talk about noise control, etc.
Traffic plans, other things that might affect the operations of field days, or if that isn't allowed conditional use by the DRB.
And also adjoining property owners have a chance to express their opinions and their thoughts on it too, so that's part of the process.
They all get their rooms.
Yeah.
This room could be full.
No,
It's not here, it's at the village.
Okay, it's doing Village Complex just because of,
It's gonna be held at.
You should have got a warning in the mail.
Yeah, I should.
You had to sign for it.
Why they told me I was gonna get a registered letter.
You should have, I mailed it last week.
I've never gotten one yet, so.
last
So
week.
last week, the zoning administrator called, he says, told us you have to cancel field, field days. And I said, wait a minute, he says, no, there's no wait a minute, you have to cancel it. So, who authorized her to call and tell us this?
I believe the phone call was made because the petition came in with a number of signatures that it had. That's what she was
took it
basing
upon
that.
herself to make that decision, pretty much.
I think she probably made the assumption that those number of signatures were gonna stand.
I didn't know if it came from a certain board,
Didn't come from us, it was just.
but you wanted,
It was
okay.
based on getting the petition.
Right. What's that?
It was based on getting this petition.
Right, it was based on that petition, was gonna put a hold on everything till a public vote.
Okay. And when's that public vote?
It's not
We're not
happening.
having
Okay, it's not happening.
It would have been August 11th.
You have to come, you have to be
I'll be
present.
there, yeah.
I'm sorry, can you actually provide more copies of that?
Oh, absolutely.
Thanks.
Ferdinand, does that answer your question?
Pretty much, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So we'll get more answers
Yeah.
next Thursday.
Yeah, come prepared with information on how you're organizing stuff, and yes, and good luck with that.
For field days, I do have a question. Now that that petition is not valid, is it possible that it comes up again in 2 weeks? Can someone go out and get a new petition
No,
and meet the minimum signatures? The,
the zoning rules that were passed by this board on meeting in April stand, that's it.
oh, so they can't bring another
No.
petition? Okay, great.
Well, the only thing I'm gonna say is the right number of registered voters could bring a petition for us to take some action, but it's not gonna change the zoning rules at this time.
Okay.
It may be a separate petition to make a change to the bylaws specific to something, but it's gonna require that number, and then we would have to schedule the vote. And then the planning commission would have to go through and hold public hearings, and it would take a fair amount of time to do that, so. The changes that we approved stand right now, and yes, I guess that's the way I should leave that discussion.
Just that we got a lot of money on the line. If someone's gonna bring another petition and we gotta cancel the 1st of July, we're gonna be out like 250 grand. So time is ticking loudly for us.
No, we're fully aware of that. We're fully aware of that, and this whole thing of getting the zoning and stuff, it's made it a very tight timeline.
Yeah, well, we've had a few sleepless nights.
No, sorry about that. Okay,
Thank you very much.
you're welcome. Sir?
I'm William Hancy. I was part of the petition, and I apologize for whatever misunderstanding there was about this. We selected 5 items out of the litany of 16 amendments that were made. And they were specific to R1 and a couple of them were specific to R5. That was our intent. So I couldn't find anything, any literature or anything on developing a petition for a select board decision. And you have 20 days from the time the decision is made to get that petition in, and you need 5% signatures. There wasn't one person that I talked to that knew about the meeting or knew anything about any of those amendments. And some of the comments I've received are, well, we don't have people that are involved in the community. Part of my intent on moving forward on this was to actually help. I want to help the town. If there are that many people out there that don't know things that are affecting them, and in that warning was a quote, "One or more of these proposed amendments will affect every geographical area of Swanton." And there were 5 people that showed up for that meeting that weren't part of the office. And so there's a problem, a communication problem, a public warning problem. So going out and looking at the 5 things that had to do with rural, that's where I'm coming from. This is rural Vermont. I moved to rural Vermont. I know what urban sprawl is like. I know what metropolitan cities are like. And some of these things like retail, that scared me. That my neighbor could just put up a retail store. And some people will say that, well, you go to the DRB, they have to put in a permit. Well, my experience with permits here are that sometimes the rules don't get followed.
Okay, I'm gonna interject. We're here to talk about the petition,
Right.
not the zoning, the wording of the zoning. I will say on the wording of the petition, when I first read it, it's like, okay, they're only talking about the R1. However, it talks about the action that the select board approved, and all those other items were part of that action. So we checked with a lawyer, and it was everything that we approved that night. We didn't go line item by line item and approve. We approved the changes as a whole, and the way the petition was written is that meant everything got put on hold. So just want to explain that to you, and again, we're talking about the petition and not the
Okay.
R1
So,
and so on.
so from a learning perspective, going forward, I question the fact that there was one vote for all 16 items. So did that mean that we couldn't do each item? And each item was a bullet. It wasn't even a number or a letter. So it was like the 4th bullet down, the 12th bullet down, trying to figure out what things we were going after. I'm not a lawyer, so writing a petition, I mean, and then there wasn't I couldn't find a guidebook, I couldn't find anything that could help us
And
not get in trouble.
fully understand that. In the future, if we get a multi-change request like that, I think we should take a look at it and possibly approve section by section. It does make sense. Or the petition just be written to vote on that specific area,
that was our intent.
not the action that we took that night.
Yeah, that was our intent.
Yep. No, I understand, and that's why we got lawyers involved to say, what does this mean? And that's just what they said.
Yeah, I second what he said. We did not want to, we just wanted those 5 items looked at, considered. But the language was crafted to the actual relevant statute, so that it had to be written that way. Now, it's never been adjudicated that you couldn't separate out things from that single vote. So it still probably could have been done that way. I would like to ask why there was this march for all these 51 people, I believe she said, that came back to remove their signature from the petition.
Well, without getting into a lot of back and forth, there are a lot of citizens that people took a look and said, I want to go talk to them. And when they talked to them, they found out certain things that were said, and they wanted an opportunity to remove their signature.
Talk to whom?
What's that?
You said they wanted to talk to him? Who?
No, people wanted, if someone knew somebody who signed it, when people started finding out the impact of what was taking place,
So that it was
they
the
took a
whole-
look at the petition and they said, wait a minute, that's my mother. Or that's my neighbor.
Gotcha.
So they wanted to go talk to the person who
Yep.
signed it and say, why'd you do that? And they got a response. And were told that they had an opportunity to have their signature removed. In all fairness, when they found out the details of what that petition was doing, they had an opportunity.
We did provide them an information page that it was a part of a bigger amendment, a set of 16 amendments.
I
We did-
understand that, but
Yeah.
what was,
I mean, we tried to inform everybody as clearly as we could what was going on.
and I think,
And we still had hoped you could parse out those five.
and I wanna say, I think the informant of the people, some were pretty livid about things that they were told. And I'm not going into that detail right here.
Okay.
They were explaining what the impact was of the petition, and they made their decision.
Sir, may I say something?
Yes, you may.
I understand there feels like there is an issue with communication. I urge everybody who wants to stay up to date on town news and or everything that goes on to subscribe on our website to get email notifications directly from the town. So that way, if you do have questions or concerns or comments ahead of time, that you can always feel free to contact any of us here at this table to get further information about what is happening here. I've been trying to work on communication avenues for the last 5 years here in this community, and that's why the initiative of Promote Swanton has started, so we can continue to get information directly from the municipality to the residents of this community. And right now, the best platform that we have is to have everybody to sign up for those notifications. And as we can continue to get information, we want to make sure that it gets to you folks and that you understand and have an opportunity to ask the questions that you feel like you need to ask ahead of time.
Yes, and I would encourage you to, the people that you know, your neighbors and stuff, let them know. It's very simple. All you gotta do is go to the Swanton website and scroll down a little bit and it'll be there, subscribe. You click on that button and you're in.
I found it 2 weeks ago.
Okay, you know,
I don't know how long it's been there.
granted, it didn't work the first 3 or 4 years we had the new updated website, but it's running now. We had some problems with it, and if there is any problems, you know, we're gonna try to correct them because we see that. And I have one question. Did you realize when you were doing this that it was gonna affect the field days?
No.
So you're not opposed to the field days?
Absolutely
No,
not.
no.
Nothing
We
with
had
farmers,
those 5 items we hoped could be.
Only those
And again,
five.
I'm not sure that they couldn't have been parsed out.
Yeah.
Because it has never been adjudicated that you can or can't do that. But if you're sticking to the text of the statute, yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
We're sticking to the petition as written.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
what- that's the legal thing that we have to abide by.
Right.
That's fine.
Regarding communication, I just want to say, I've been doing between DRB, plan and select board over 20-something years total. We put out on the sign, and very many of our Swanton residents drive by all our meetings. And usually it's crickets, unless there's something a little bit controversial, and then we get 10, 12 people. Once or twice, we filled up the room and had to go to another venue. But people are busy and people don't necessarily want to participate, but we are meeting our legal requirements of the warnings, and we keep moving ahead. But in this case, what was written is what we had to go by.
One last thing. Could you send me a letter telling me the reasons for the dismissal of the petition?
I think we owe you a letter saying,
The rationale.
Yeah.
And, could you also include a list of the people that removed their names from the site?
no, they're on file there.
Okay, they're on file, so they're there.
They're,
Okay,
it's
that's fine, that's fine.
signatures, it's just like the signature that was signed for the petition, that's all stays on file.
Okay.
It have to be.
All right.
We're not making numbers up.
Thanks.
Sean, you had, and I know Brittany did too.
Okay. I guess I have a couple of comments. So, Michael asked like how did they get it? Who did these people come to? And I just want you to know, I hope you realize that everybody now knows who you are in regards to me. Because I
What's that mean?
received so many phone calls saying, hey, is this affecting you and your strawberries? Is this affecting you? Is this affecting you? So as far as the field days go, your comment, there was no mentioning, to my knowledge, of anything of you guys wanting to affect field days. It was everything else, and people still wanted to remove their signatures. Have field days.
Okay, time out, Brittany. I gotta have you address the select board. What I can't get into, is back and forth
So my
between.
next question to you is,
Yes.
what is the checks and balances of the town going to be when a petition comes about like this again, and residents are highly misled? And now you have 5% of the voting population, and then something happens. In reality, that 5% should have never done that.
I have,
No,
when you're ready,
excuse me,
when you're ready, I need to.
We cannot prevent people from going door to door. This is America, this is freedom of speech. And people can say what they wanna say. And unfortunately, when a petition comes to us, then we gotta take a look at it and see, and yeah, there isn't I'd like to say there's a protection out there,
Gary,
but I can't.
if it wasn't for community members and certain people, this would have been very bad for a lot of
This has
people.
been time consuming.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
trust
spun a lot of people
I
up.
get it.
No, I know, and I know you do.
I've got
I'm
4
just,
years.
I'm just saying, we cannot stop people from going out and trying to gather
Totally.
petitions.
Parasites are everywhere.
What's that?
I said parasites are everywhere.
No, all right, let's try to keep it.
So, there was an accusation there that the petitioners misrepresented themselves. I would like to know how that is.
I think there were people, I know I've talked with one or two people, and what they were told about the impact, are not exactly true. That's where I'm gonna leave it right now.
Okay, I mean, we made no misinformation with any intent at all.
Okay?
We felt that we were accurately depicting the potential of these changes.
Okay?
So,
All right, we'll leave it there right now. John?
Mr. Chairman. Sean Sheedy, I'm a member of the planning board. My parents actually signed the petition as well. And I had some discussions with them as well as many other members of the community. There's a lot of ring camera footage as well on things that were said. And that's where a lot of this is gonna kind of fall behind as time goes forward. And things that were said that continue to be told over and over is that a 3-person board is making decisions for the whole town. And it's actually a 5-person board for the planning board, in addition to 2 additional people. Beyond that though, it also then goes to your board, as you well know. And I'm giving this more for information to the public, and obviously you're well aware, but I want to make sure the public understands that. There's really 14 people who have oversight on this total that actually have looked at all these changes when they do go forward. We're fortunate enough to have some involvement. Mr. Barrett came to one of our meetings, which was great. We love to get as much involvement as we can. I wish we had more. That said, just because there isn't a large group at the meeting doesn't mean that the planning board isn't getting a lot of input from citizens. A lot of the work that we do is being done out in the community. It's happening every day. I'm sure you as a board know that as well. And we have a lot of people that are coming to us with different issues, throughout the years. And some of the things that were added were based off a lot of the things that the community wanted. And so I just want to make sure that it's not a 3-man board, which has been said multiple times, and it is on video, and I kept hearing over and over, 3 people are making decisions for the community. That's not the case. Another one too is that these were all conditional uses that were added. So everything that was on this petition was a conditional use. And I want to make sure that people understand the difference between a permitted use and a conditional use. A conditional use means that all your neighbors get a letter. Not they can put a restaurant up across the street from your house and there's nothing you can do about it. Not a box store can be put across the street from your house and there's nothing you can do about it. Every single one of those things are conditional use, meaning all your neighbors get a letter. But not only that, the whole community could come in. Your whole street could come in. You could fill this room, the next room, and 5 other rooms of the whole town. They're all welcome to go. They don't have to have a letter to be there and be involved. So I want to make sure that if a big change like that was happening, that everybody could be involved. Not there's nothing you can do about it and they can put one across the street from your house. Nobody knew that the field days were, and I think we've established that at this point, that nobody knew about the field days. That was a big issue for a lot of people. They definitely wanted their names pulled off it based on that. They also were very open to restaurants in the community, it seemed like, in other places besides the village. 52% of our community is protected right now. 52% of Swanton cannot be developed. Between the refuge, McQuam Shore, and all the different land that's in land trust right now. And beyond that, think of how much is wetland above and beyond that. So, and or already developed. We have to maximize what we have. And unfortunately, we don't fall in the category of being ag, where we're able to just do what we want. So we have to make sure that these bylaws are affecting everybody. We have a negative population in Vermont this year. We lost people this year in Vermont. And our kids are leaving because there's no opportunity. In the past, Swanton's been known as a pro-residential and not a business-friendly community. We're trying to change that based off input from the community. And we all have our own views, and I'm glad we do have involvement in the meetings, and I hope we get more. But at the same time, we need to make sure that we're working for everybody, not just a small group that have a certain interest. And when we work for the majority, not the minority, I think Swan's going to end up as a better place as time goes on. So I'll kind of leave it at that, but there's definitely some things that were quite disturbing that were on camera in a few different places, and things that my parents were told which were not true. And so I just want to make sure that people understand that there's definitely 2 perspectives, and a lot of these things that I discussed were some of the topics that were there.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman.
thank you, Sean. Anybody else regarding this petition?
Yeah, again, I have to respond to some of this. There were 6 petitioners total. I was the primary one. Never did I say 3 people made the decision. I said 4 because I recognized 4 people that on April 21st that made that vote. I didn't recognize this fellow here as a board member. There was never anything stated to the effect that a box store would go across the street from you. There was nothing you could do about it. That's not, for me anyway. Like I said, there were a few other petitioners. We simply said that was a potential, that the door was open for that. We said that that wasn't the intent, we feel, of the select board, but that was a potential. I believe it is. I know we have a disagreement on the power that the DRB has to contain this, but that's, maybe we have disagreement, I'm not sure, but I don't think they have the authority to control, once you open that door. They can control things like building height. They can,
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into the.
Right.
The
I
DRB,
think
it's
this is
conditional use.
I don't like this being characterized as disturbing things being said. This was what we best perceived as the potential consequence of this.
Yeah, we're not gonna go back and forth regarding statement said, we got the number of signatures that were stated to us by the town clerk. It is not enough to move forward. And that's, everyone's had the chance to speak tonight, except I see one more hand coming up, so give me just a minute. But we're not gonna go back and forth here.
Michael, why don't you get the hell out?
No, hey, no, that is not how we're gonna conduct this meeting here. We gotta conduct it in an orderly fashion, and we're not gonna go back and forth between people in the crowd with different opinions, sorry, but we can't do that. All right, the board members are good, we're gonna move on.
Again, I encourage everybody to sign up for email notifications from the town, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
You sure you don't wanna stay? Lots of good stuff.
have a good night. Next item of business is the LVRT trailhead camera proposal. We had 3 different proposals, one at $5,841, one at $9,389, 12 cents, and one for $9,663.80. The one for $5,841 is from the contractor that maintains the village system. And that was what we put in the proposal, that was the preferred way we wanted to go. The camera would be tied into the village system. We could get access to that, system if we wanted it, so we could actually be monitoring the rail trail here during the day if we wanted. There is no annual cost. The higher cost systems would be town only, so we have to set up our own new program. And then there's some annual costs related to that. The higher cost systems are ones we could expand on over time if we wanted to. But I don't think we wanna go there. I don't even know if we wanna spend $5,800 on a camera. But to me, it's something, it's a tool we could have, especially if we start seeing people, now that we've got the porta pot in there and the weather's warming up, if people are starting to live there, it's something we could check very quickly and then call the police and ask them to go remove people if it becomes a problem. And if someone were to go in there and damage something, to me, it's money that is probably worth it. But I'll open it up to the board for discussion, and my proposed location for the source is, now we took 18,000 out of that 37, but it would, or 36, but we would take the other 5841 out of there.
I noticed between, like the historical, the Depot Museum, the library, they always talk about getting security cameras because of incidents that pop up. So there's gonna be something that probably pops up where if we don't get one, we're gonna regret not having one. So that's at least my thoughts.
Okay.
I do have to say the rec department put in a Wi-Fi camera system to monitor acts of vandalism, and it has been incredibly beneficial to curbing those kinds of activities at the rec center. So I think it is a good investment. It's, you know, if we do consider putting them in other places, I feel like the village would be a great place to monitor them. So I am in support of the bid here for $5,841.
Is the village aware that, of this?
I spoke last fall, and yes, and they said we could tie that camera into their system. If you go look at their screen, they had several blank spots still that more cameras could be hooked up to. So unless something has changed since last fall when we first started looking into this, the answer is yes. And they actually, some of these vendors talked with
Talked to
the
Mark Longway
Yeah.
at the village because they needed information on the system.
Yes.
With that one, are they able to add on if we ever get a new rec building? Camera system there, and maybe the depot and.
We would have to look into whether at that point we hooked into the village. If not, I'm pretty confident that this camera at the $5,800 level is something they just send it
over to
send it to the program that we set up for our own village. Yes.
As long as we can add on to it in the future, it's good to go.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the bid from Threefold AV and Security in the amount of $5,841.
I'll second the motion.
Motion been made and seconded. Source of the funds.
coming from the special funds line item for the LVRT.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion? Here none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. The next item, I guess I really should have put it down in the, next meeting agenda items, electronic marquee in the village. I know you had sent out your quote, I've got some, different sign with some different dollar values. I'll get that out to everybody in the next week or so we can talk about it more next meeting if that works for everybody.
So we're just gonna move that one to number 9
I
then.
mean, I guess the one question is, are we all kind of for updating the sign? I think that sign's hard to read, you know, multicolor. It's time to improve it, I think.
I think we can improve, you know, our park area and, you know, make it more attractive if we do it right. And I think we do need a sign for getting information out, so.
Community just said they don't know where to get information, so I think it's a good time to make sure that sign is right front and center.
All right, so we will get some proposals out to everybody and have some good discussion next month at that, our next meeting, if that works. Paving, all right. So it's part of the packet, Road to Road with Kevin. My recommendation, and we did go out with the RFP, but we could change it if we needed to. Monument Road, Sweet Hollow Road, we wanted to do last year, but we didn't have enough budget. Lion Kiln Road, Cedar Ledge Estates, Maple Grove Estates, the part that the town maintains, not the upper part. Bastion Road and Country Club Estate, so it's a lot of our developments along, Route 7. Total of 3.46 miles. And if we're gonna do all that, I'm gonna ask the board tonight to approve moving 200,000 out of the, Berry Road Culvert project, 'cause we're not gonna go to construction this year.
I thought you were gonna hold it anyways, if we didn't need, our roads were in good shape, like you were saying before, yeah. Now
And
you
then-
wanna do more?
No, but because we can't go to construction now, is the stuff we would pay next year is
Wow.
increasing it from 200 to the 400. And then we would put the same amount of money back toward Berry Road.
And pay less next year.
Correct. It'd be 400 this year, and 200 next year, unless we come up with another way. Now that we have some LOT coming too, we may find another way to do the funding without impacting the highway budget, so.
Then just to be clear on this paving bids, you said for Maple Grove Estates, the portion, I don't see it listed, is that something that?
It's by distance on the actual bid, and that's what we would go up over with the contractors when they come up. When they take a look at it.
It's not on the,
It's not on the,
What's that?
it's not on the bid that went out to the paving companies.
Maple Grove, we got Monument Road, Sweet Hollow, Lime Kiln, Cedar Ledge, Bashan, Country Club.
All right,
it's not on there.
okay, well, when we open bids and, we'll see the dollar amount and we'll go back to the low bidder, cause this is now being bid the way we did before, total tons and dollars per ton. Yep, that's, I guess, my bad, cause, I got it right on my spreadsheet that I created, but actually, we got enough time to send out to those. I'll give you the verbiage.
Yeah.
We can send it to the,
Send it by email, be faster.
cause cause the bid package says 42.90 on the tons, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the total, which does include Maple Grove.
Yeah. So, you can send me the information, I'll just send an
Yep.
addendum to the.
All right, thanks for catching that, folks. So is the board willing to do that? Because that money is just gonna sit, or not?
Well, we might as well keep doing it, so we don't get behind on our roads. If we're gonna take 200,000 out next year, we might as well use it this year. I don't have a problem with doing it that way.
Okay. I'm on entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we,
And it's
add 200,000 to the paving budget, take it out of the road improvement for Berry Road
Culvert.
culvert, and transfer it to do these additional paving this year.
Wait a second.
Yeah, I'll second.
Motion made in second. Any discussion?
How much of a balance is left in the Berry Road culvert? We got 300,000 in there?
We had 300, that'd be 100, plus there's carryover of 56, 469. Any other discussion? Here none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Updated road inventory. That's in our package, right?
What page is that on? Page 50.
I'm kind of geek for numbers, but I really enjoyed reading this.
The one thing on the road inventory is I have the Word documents from the last couple of years, but I would ask Brian take a look too for the paving contracts for the last few years, because a lot of the dates on here need to be updated.
That's the only thing that I didn't get to.
Right. 'Cause several of these roads have been paved since, but that's
Yeah.
something we can work at.
That stood out to me too. I think must be some of these roads must have been paved since those days.
Yeah, and then there's some though, that are on the list to do this year that actually, you know, one of them I saw over 20 years ago. Anyway. Okay, anything else on the road
Thank you
inventory?
very much.
Have a good night, Sean.
Good, thanks for all you do.
Okay, Swanton Public Library building issues, on page 54.
That was me. So I went to the library trustees meeting last Tuesday, and they pointed out some things they wanted the town to maybe take a look at. I sent that email out,
Yeah,
trying to find
it's
in the back. And
Page 55.
That's big, big.
And so yeah, they listed a few issues. One of them was the taking out the water fountain upstairs. They say people are doing stuff like are not treating it right, and they just want to have it ripped out by the highway department. They don't want it replaced, and so that's something that they want to put into the select board in the town ears. Another was they keep bringing up that light that fell down, and that light that fell down that they want replaced. And at this point, I've been hearing it brought up a lot by them. So I would maybe take a look at with Laz at some point, either telling them they don't need it, and they think they do, but if Laz recommends that they don't, then tell them that, or just try to find like an alternative about what to do when it comes to the light or replace the light. But it really depends on what Laz says, I guess.
This isn't probably really the time of year that guys could go over and do that. It needs to be more in the winter,
But yeah, I can tell them that. They just keep bringing it up. Yeah.
But I can talk to Laz. I mean, that's up to the board because he doesn't do that work for nothing. So
yeah,
it's just a very expensive light fixture.
You could tell them that's expensive. We don't think it needs to be replaced.
Nick, you're saying it's not needed?
Well, I'm not saying I haven't really looked at it, but
okay.
I was told in the past that it may not be needed.
Yeah. There's nobody in there that really reads in it. They don't have any reading table or anything. But you know, it's a judgment call, I guess, as to whether somebody needs the light or not. Maybe they feel that they need it. So
I feel like they seem like they want it.
Yeah, but there's the need and then there's the want. And so.
Yeah, I mean, we looked at it before, and again, where it's located, but, I don't know, do we need Laz, do we need it just, cause to me, what we ought to look at, we're trying to have it look about the same inside as we picked one area and move a fixture over there and change fixtures with something more modern and cheaper than what that one was gonna cost.
I think the fixtures in there are all pretty much all the same. Really.
Yeah.
I have to go over and take another
You
I
see
think
it?
they were all new when the renovation and the addition was put on.
This is in the new edition?
No,
No, this
in
is
the
what,
original.
something that fell down. That
What's in
they,
the old part?
that was in the
Correct.
old.
First floor, is I got
Yes.
Yeah,
a
first
first
floor.
floor.
First
You
floor.
walk in, it's on the left-hand side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
closer to the other doorway, right, isn't it?
Correct.
around- Yeah.
There's a stairwell access to go upstairs in that corner of the library.
I imagine with,
So straight through where the stairs go up?
Yeah, you walk in the library.
Yeah,
Here's the desk.
yeah.
They have another table here, the front door. It's this room right here. It's this light right here.
and I imagine with the water fountain, that's probably not that hard of a fix, just to rip it out.
Well, you decap the plumbing.
Yeah,
and-
yeah, well, you gotta tap the,
Tap, plumbing.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely wanna make sure they can't just
Yeah.
turn the water.
No, but the upstairs water fountain has been an issue in the library for quite some time. It hasn't been operational. They tried to get it fixed, and then it's just not used like it should be. They would rather encourage folks to come to the first floor and use the working water fountain on the first floor, instead of having that as an amenity on the second floor.
I'm all for highway going and shutting it off and then removing it when they get a chance,
Yeah.
but if they're not, they've got a lot going on.
Right.
Cause they
Yeah.
should cap it or whatever, but I think, I don't, if everyone's in agreement, I don't see why, as long as they get
Yeah,
a
it shouldn't be-
fountain that works.
Yeah,
in the
I mean,
building.
unless Kevin says, hey, maybe it might be more involved than we think, you never know what the pipes
Yeah,
are and all
right.
this stuff, and if he says, you know, but I don't have
Yeah.
have Kevin at least look at it, and then come back and say what he thinks should be done.
Two other things that were brought up were, now that the
Oh, we didn't
elevators.
finish the light deal.
Oh, the light, okay, let's go with the light. I apologize.
Well, I mean, I guess we could get lads to go there, but, I haven't actually looked at it myself, I guess I should see it, but if everybody else says they don't need the light there, then why don't we just say the select board is not gonna invest the money in replacing it?
Because I don't know that they maybe do need the light.
That's what I'm saying, I don't know.
They redesigned the layout of the library based upon the needs of the community. So there's nothing to say that 6 months down the line that space isn't going to be used as a reading room or a space where folks are gonna be used. I mean, right now, just from conversations I've had with library staff and trustees, is that it just makes the room look unfinished and not like a room that they're proud to have people come into, and that's I think why they keep bringing it up. Whether we want to replace the light that's there, yes, it is an expensive fixture. To me, I think they're dated and they may not be. They're fluorescent. I don't think they are very efficient, but. Or we replace it with something that I think would be better, but I'm not sure what that is because I'm not an electrician or an architect or a designer. So.
Wanna go take a look with me, Earl?
Yeah, I really do, and I just want to let everybody know on this board that I like light. I hate dark because it's harder to see.
Sure.
So
No,
I said
but
Before we bring lads in, let's go take a look.
yes, because I don't think it's really necessary to have lads in there for something like that. I'm just trying to think of a time this week when I could do it. Let me call you.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, it depends on the weather. Are you around tomorrow? If we get some rain, and I'll have time.
Okay.
And just to add my 2 cents, I feel like even if we don't go with replacing the whole light fixture, that we could find some alternative that wouldn't be some light bulb that wouldn't be that expensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And next one is they mentioned now that the elevator's been fixed, replacing the drywall that was damaged near the stairs. Apparently there was some damaged drywall that was.
which stairs? Do you know?
I'm not 100%.
Look at that while you're there.
That'd be something to look at. I didn't get a ton of details about that one.
Maybe in the back stairway with the ice leaking, but that's just minor, but I think it'd just be a minor touch up, sanding and.
Yeah, that's something probably Menard could do.
Yeah.
Very easily. Yeah, we'll take a look at it when we're there. That's all.
What's the update on the new water measure?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, apparently there was a water meter that was going to be installed in the elevator that apparently never, after the
We put a new water pump in, a new,
Something that could measure how much the water level is what it was.
Well, that's part of the pump system. There's a float on there that causes the pump to go on.
Okay, maybe I can mention that to her.
I assume it's working. I haven't heard.
no,
Yeah, I didn't, she brought up, okay, what's, tell us.
see if you can get more clarification.
Yeah, I'll get
on
more
that.
clarification on that one.
But I do wanna bring up, I think we should talk with Laz and find somebody who can go down and do an inspection on that elevator, because we need to fix that pipe.
Yeah, that's.
And we
gonna
need to
get
paint in
fixed.
there.
Yeah.
Cause when you look in there, that stuff's corroding pretty good. Maybe put a dehumidifier in there, but we get somebody, not this inspection company, cause I'm not real happy with them.
No, you need a.
Someone who
Yeah.
understands elevators and stuff can take a look, tell us what needs to be fixed and get us a price, because it's gonna take us many months to do it, but that pipe
Are
is
there any
corroded.
elevator companies, who put the elevator in?
Oh, they sold out to Otis, and Otis was absolutely horrible. We canned that.
Yeah.
And so we go with Alpha Elevator in Montpelier, who's been better than Otis, at least.
But these are the ones that you're saying are just inspecting it.
No,
they
have service it.
Well, wouldn't they have said something about that pipe and the moisture down there?
I don't know if they would know.
The guy they sent up here, who we paid $250 an hour to stand around, no. And that's why it's frustrating, Earl, it's frustrating, how much?
$285.
$285.
Now, at the rail trail opening there, remember the gentleman that asked about St. Albans? There was somebody in the crowd asked the guy from AOT about the MDRT in St. Albans. Well, I know him, he used to work for me. And he sits on the board of the St. Albans Museum. And I knew they had problems with the elevator. Their elevator was out of service for 2 years.
Yeah.
And they've had water problems. I said, up there, you're having water problems? Oh yeah, just like we got. And they ditched Otis and went with Alpha as well. So that's.
But you're saying we're not gonna get nothing out of them, so we gotta find somebody else to look at that.
Well, somebody who's like an elevator mechanic or knows elevators enough.
And nobody in that company that we have working for us is an elevator mechanic?
Whoever you put in there to do this work, they've got to be there because they're underneath that elevator.
But they don't repair elevators.
They do in the elevator systems, the relay switches and all that stuff.
And that pipe isn't part of the
I
system?
know. Is this a hydraulic pipe?
It's a hydraulic
It's part of the system
It's a
then.
steel pipe.
Yeah, it's part of the system. So they should. He said it should be. There was this guy that was there that day, he was new to the company. But somebody did say it should, another person came a few months before and said, oh, you're gonna have to replace that eventually.
Yeah, eventually, it's when I see the amount of scale and I saw.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure with all that moisture in it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, should the select board send that outfit that we're working with a letter saying, hey, look, we need this done, how quick can you do it? If you can't, we're gonna have to find somebody
Because
else.
these companies are far and few between.
I did take a picture, that's why I was looking at my phone. True North Elevator, I don't know if anybody's heard of them.
Never.
I was riding in an elevator the other day in Vermont, because this is signed by Mike Sherlin from our public safety. There's True North Elevator. But I agree with you, we give a first shot at the existing company. Can they tell us what needs to be done, provide us a rough cost, and we go from there? But we gotta keep that on our list of.
Are you gonna have Brian send the letter to him, or do you wanna have a call, or can you have
We'll call
the two of you to have a teleconference with them?
We'll let Brian start it,
Okay.
and if he wants, I'll.
It's owned by a woman, so you call, you get their dispatcher, but I'll say we have a serious concern here. It's working fine now, but we want to know this, how is this gonna get repaired? We want it replaced. Are you able to do that job?
Well, yeah, we want them to
And
come
how
in,
much?
inspect it, and tell us what they think needs to be done to make the bottom of that up to snuff, not all rusted out.
Do you think we should request, I would leave it up to the rest of you, our second meeting in June, that they come and tell us what what their proposal is? 'Cause-
You want them to come, they'll charge.
well, at least.
Well, they can come by video.
Yeah,
Yeah, they can come by video.
and that way we can all see whether it's something that's reasonable or not. But if you don't put some kind of deadline or tell them when we expect something, it'll probably drag on for another 6 or 8 months.
Or a year or two. Yeah.
Also,
It needs to be.
And then if they don't, then we can try this other outfit, who the hell knows?
True North Elevators out of Washington State.
Yeah, so they're a big company.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they must have some representative
they're
here,
working in
yeah,
Vermont.
yeah, maybe they got
Well,
a dealer here.
Otis did too.
Oh, I know, I'm gonna keep bringing it up after seeing that there,
No,
that it's
Yeah,
something we
and
wanna
the-
make some progress
The
toward.
big issue when you wanna get into the pit and you want to, put some sort of sealer on the pit itself and whatnot, that'll take a couple of days, and all that work that's gonna be done, by law, they have to have a tech there.
And that's something we're gonna talk with them about, there ought to be a way, and we'll call the Vermont, public safety people, there ought to be a way to block in there.
I asked about blocking, they said the only time that they can get in, you can get into the pit is when there's no car above you. In other words, take the thing right out. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
So, but, we'll see what they're gonna say.
Well, if we fix it right, because obviously when they put it in there, they didn't figure on all this moisture, and that's gonna destroy anything metal, especially in a small room like that, it's terrible.
One of the problems, the sump that pumps in, no bottom.
Yeah,
So that water, if you could seal all that,
yeah.
then you wouldn't have all that moisture in there. Okay. Special funds review. Spreadsheets in front of you. Not in front of me yet, give me just a second. I'll try to be brief. But, there's 6 line items where the work is not complete. The community rec center, so that's fine, we got a balance. Rec department improvements, a balance of 3,800 until all the maintenance stuff gets moved out of there, they can't do the floor and stuff, so no, that's fine. LVRT expenses, that's at 4,500, we said we would pay for this year out of the special funds. Promote Swanton's got a little bit of a balance. Swanton rebranding's got a balance. And then, 4th Street contamination's got a balance. And then, when you take a look at all of that, there's really closer, right now it says the LVRT money, tonight we spent 18 plus another 6, 24 out of that 36. So really, that right now in the uncommitted, there's about 158,000 just not committed to anything. And then we have the 4th Street contamination, which really now would most likely be part of the rec building. That soil would just be handled as part of that construction project. So there's 22,000 right there. And then there's the 24,000 in the library, cause that weatherization project's complete. It's almost 25,000. So we have almost $205,000. I think it's time to move it out of special funds and put it into our capital improvements line.
Well, we just got done talking about the library, so I'm sure by the time we get done with that elevator, we're gonna use most of what's left over.
Which would be paid out of capital
Yeah,
funds.
I mean, either way, it's gonna go that way, the same thing. The only thing with the 4th Street contamination, we got such a high cost, we're gonna have to spend some money. If we want a decent building, it's gonna cost some money. For that rec center, I might just put that in with the other, move it to the 500,000, whatever left, so it's all, and it all goes towards the building.
And we could also take it out of the capital funds at the time we need to. I mean,
Well-
what I'm trying to get is in, and it could.
I understand what you're saying, but we have, the capital funds, we may end up in a situation where people might not want us to use the money the way we're proposing. Right here, we have an opportunity to add another 40,000 towards that building.
Yeah, we got an
Yeah,
opportunity
right
at
there.
all of
Yeah.
it. I mean, I'm,
I don't know if I'd ask all of it, because you also have the issue down there with that railroad museum, and, you know, we're gonna have to spend some money on that at some point in time.
which again is capital,
Yeah,
that's what our capital reserve, that's what the capital reserve and repair fund
Now
is
we got
for.
the issues of this building with the insulation.
yeah, and this
Finally
building
got the
here
report,
too, yeah, so.
Which is also capital.
Yeah.
Which is all that one
All
area that,
right, if it goes in there, but I hope it don't get pulled out for something else.
It
But-
can't.
It's gonna be in the same, yeah, but it
it's
could
either
be
capital
another capital
improvements or
improvement.
repairs, so it's either new building
You
or
can't use
repair
it anywhere
existing.
else.
Or equipment, truck,
No, you can't use it for that.
if it's in the capital plan, are you strictly capital repairs?
Well,
Capital
what's it, the
improvement
title?
repairs.
Repairs and improvements, it wasn't purchase equipment, right?
Right.
Alright, so if you do that, then you wouldn't be able to use that money for the rec building. You'd have to come out of a different capital fund.
Capital improvements and repairs, yeah, that's what
If
my understanding that's,
Wasn't it?
If we put it all to the building, it will limit it to the building, we couldn't use it for
For repairs?
like the rec fund. We couldn't use it for, the Depot Museum or the,
building a building to me is a capital improvement, I
Yeah.
thought that's the way, when we worded it that way.
Well, it's all gonna end up getting spent, so I guess it doesn't make any difference where it is.
Well, I'm just thinking in
Yeah.
terms of tracking it
Yeah.
and stuff, that's
Yeah.
all,
Yep.
and it's just a suggestion, it wasn't,
Uh, But I am concerned about the railroad museum, because either we're gonna do something with it, or it's gonna be getting a
It'd be
situation
really
where.
nice if we could put offices down there and use the building.
we should. There should be 2 or 3 people in
It'd be
that
really
building
nice to
every day.
We also
It's a
have
beautiful building.
another big impact
Yeah.
that we haven't even talked about, and that's that walking bridge
Yep.
that's gonna need
Yeah.
some maintenance over time.
That's what that capital fund.
Yeah, no, I'm
Right,
just making
yeah.
sure that's, making sure I said that out loud.
Yes,
What'd you say?
capital projects and capital repairs, so the construction of the wreck, if we have it in that fund, if we could push some of it toward the building, cause it is capital projects and capital repairs is the way it was worded.
We voted on the article, it was, shall the town establish capital reserve funding on $25,000 annually for the future construction and maintenance of town-owned assets. That's what the article was. we
So
voted
you
on.
can build buildings then. It'd be okay. Well, I don't have a problem with it then. Does it make any difference to you, Kathy, or it's all goes in
No,
that
it's fine.
same fund? And interest wise, we'll probably be better off, or?
It'd be the same as it's getting now.
Same.
But, so how much are we transferring?
Well, I
Should
think,
we
I
fine-tune
think
the
I need to
numbers
fine tune the
Okay.
spreadsheet and then come back and,
So we're
And-
moving the 22,107 and the
24,803.
24,803.
And again, it's going into that fund which would
Right.
pay for the library when we know what that's gonna cost, that could be 50,000, yeah, we just don't know yet.
Okay.
But instead of, tracking it here, we're tracking it as where it's gonna be
Right, makes
on a
sense.
regular basis when we get this all finally
Now,
spent.
the one thing in here is it under some rebranding, right?
Yeah.
They just haven't got the website done. That's why that money hasn't been spent. They can't bill us until they get the job done. So, and I don't know if they ever will. But I guess with that, if you throw that in there too, is it gonna be okay when we do
That's a
finally
different-
get it done?
We were gonna leave it here.
We'll just leave that here.
Okay.
That was one that was
Okay.
one I suggested moving.
Okay,
And again, Kathy, get us some revised numbers and then, you could say, all right, that money that was gonna go toward 4th Street, we push it up to the rec line item
Yeah.
because it's gonna be part of that cleanup, but either way,
Yeah.
we could still pay for it out of capital, but
yep.
trying to get, anyway, all right, enough speaking of that. Robin Hood's Drive sign.
Yeah. Monica Green of Vermont Precision Tools called last week. There's a sign at Robin Hood Drive, as you drive into Robin Hood Drive, that advertises all of the businesses
Yep.
that are in Robin
Yep.
Hood Drive. It's getting pretty rough.
Yep.
And I didn't know, she'd like to know if the way it could be replaced, and I know you're doing things with signage,
Yep.
and so that could be incorporated. Now, since they're advertising for a business, and we would have to talk to them, each business would have to probably contribute toward their sign, but I'm just bringing that out, and if you've got some
Yeah.
ideas as far as the design.
Well,
I mean, it could have this lovely logo on the top that says Swanton Industrial Park. Just
Well,
throwing that out there.
one of the things we have discussed is the possibility of putting, something from Swanton promoting the rail trail. And that would be a good time to do that along with the businesses at the same time, so we'll take a look at that. eh?
So I'll let her know that.
Yes, I guess I'm taking a look at that now.
Okay,
Oh,
so
we'll
I'll
take
let
a
her
look at some
know that.
ideas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who owns the sign that's already there?
I'm not
David
sure.
Frostgate put that up,
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, and that was put up privately or?
Well, I assume he did, that was a long time ago, and of course, David doesn't own any more property up there anymore. So I think we'd be okay if we went and told the businesses we were gonna do this, and we'd like a contribution, and,
Come up with a design.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
I'll let
come up with a
her know
design.
that your
Yep.
guys are working on
Yeah.
it, and you probably can give her a call, or she can call one of you with any.
yeah. And as long as we got the signs, also trying to find some way to get some different kind of signs for the state roads here at the end of the park, at the end of First Street, you know how crooked they are. And there may be I'm hoping there's some other designs that the state has, and then we can replace them too at the
The
same
green
time.
ones?
The 78 and 7 and 89,
The last update from Susie was that Dean had some signs at the public works in the village, and that were AOT signs, and that when he had a free moment that he would look to see which ones he had that he could
Yeah.
replace, and then he would
Yeah.
work on it from there.
Yeah, but there may be other options out there we don't know about too, that
Yeah,
are more
that-
decorative.
Yeah, they're pretty standard as far as the
Yeah.
state, and then the ones inside the village gets money to maintain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I sent pictures to the AOT district, the ones down where the grain elevator used to
Yeah.
be, and they said go talk to Swanton Village.
Yeah.
Fix them.
It's in their Highway 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they don't break it down, so at least when I was on the board, it's like, where is it broken down?
You,
Make a
you
point to
drive
take
up,
some
you
pictures
drive up
and
by
follow
Tractor
Yeah.
that.
Supply, and the signs there
Yeah,
are,
and I'll keep an
terrible.
eye on
The
things
green
too.
is gone.
Oh,
We'll
yeah,
get together.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the state.
Maybe
right
next,
there.
Oh, yeah.
maybe next
It's
week.
terrible. I took
I'm here for
pictures
You know
of
where I
the
live.
I know.
intersection by the interstate right here by Hannaford's and sent them, and they changed them all, but you drive up by Tractor Supply, if you're out of state and you get your phone telling you where to go, it's awful nice when you see the sign that
Well,
verifies you're doing the right thing.
Remember on South Main Street in St. Albans had the overhead signs, the interstate access road, it said St. Albans, and then they were so terrible, I stopped, on the House Transportation, took a picture of them one day and sent them. Well, their solution to it, they took the whole thing down. Because they said the city gets the money to replace those signs. Those are expensive signs,
Yeah.
but they took the whole thing down. I really, it's not sending a good message out to people who travel here.
No, and then I heard that there's sign making for Franklin County now. The district they have to go to St. Johnsbury, the district over there, to get their signs made up and stuff. Anyway. Letter of support for the village.
I thought they were made in the prison.
Yeah, but they probably.
It's coordinated out of
Yeah.
apparently the district in St. Johnsbury.
Interesting.
Letter of support for the village.
Yes, this is a letter of support for the village. It's standard boilerplate. They are, if you want, I can just read it. It's 2 quick paragraphs.
What's the grant for?
They've applied for Granville Avenue sidewalk replacement.
Okay.
It's a small scale state aid. And it's going to the project manager and the Vermont Agency of Transportation. So the select board is pleased to submit this letter of support for the village's bike and pedestrian grant application to fund sidewalk replacement in the critical area of our village. The whole scope of the work, starting at the intersection of Academy and Grand Avenue, is an extremely busy intersection and part of the travel network which allows pedestrians to visit the town municipal office, the Holy Trinity Church, Swanton Christian Church, and the village green safely. The segment from Academy Street to Blake Street will renew a valuable part of our Safe Routes to School travel plan and bring students safely to and from the school. Both the village and town have made significant investments in the bike and pedestrian infrastructure, and together we are creating a safe and inviting community that allows all residents to make it safely to their destinations. Thank you in advance for your consideration.
Did you write that letter or the village?
No, the village did.
Boy, it would have been nice and maybe add a little more weight to it if they'd put the LVT in there, because that's the way we plan on bringing the bicycle traffic down to the village, is down through that way.
But not on the sidewalk.
Not on the sidewalk, but still.
This is for the sidewalk.
I don't know. I guess it's okay that way.
Well, it's pedestrians and bike traffic
Yeah.
that use that.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
Is that, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to support the bike infrastructure grant letter.
I'll second it.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Moving on to promote Swanton update.
Okay.
All right, that's us. You want to do the talking? You want to do the talking?
Well, you got some paper there. Basically, we've picked out some locations for the wayfinding signs.
They come down, pass it around.
All right, here. Keep moving.
While you're passing around, the folks from the state AOT like that sign you put up at the marquee at the
Yeah.
LVRT.
Came out
They
good,
took,
real
and
good.
then they took a picture of the QR code and they saw what it did, and
Yeah.
they were gonna send it to a couple other places that are getting ready to
Perfect.
do that project.
Yeah, we're gonna try to sneak one up where the Missisquoi Trail crosses the LVRT, so they know Swanton's at this end.
Good.
So I have QR stickers with everything Swanton related, if anybody would like them to share with their family, friends, stick on their phones, or want people to be able to talk about Swanton and engage. I will freely distribute those to whoever you,
Can you put these up there? In Sheldon?
probably once
Yeah,
I figure
well,
out the right container to put them in.
The
Yeah, we gotta get up there.
The, regional planning has is ordering containers, ordering 2 for us.
Okay.
Don't know when they're coming, but that's something that you can check.
I
with
will
Amy
touch
with.
base with Amy. So in previous meetings, I've shared a master wayfinding plan. I know that's been quite a while for some of us. The intention here is to create a wayfinding campaign. For those of you that don't know what wayfinding is, it's using signage to move people patterns throughout a community, and in this case, generating all of those trail users from the trailhead at the Lamoille Valley Rail Trail into our downtown businesses and to see our amenities. So I tried to color code this the best that I could on the map that you see in front of you. All of the red pinpoints would be pedestrian marking signs, and to further that conversation, I put their locations next to the legend. All of the dark blue would be vehicular wayfinding signs. So if you were entering in the community in and around the areas that a LVRT user would use, or just anybody in Swanton for that matter, directing our businesses to our downtown district. And then, dark blue would be municipal parking, yellow would be the vehicular signs, and then furthermore, generating a place for bike parking in the village green by using signs to follow the traffic pattern that the village is going to implement, or that they have plans to implement, sending traffic down the backside of the park to a parking area in the village green right by Merchants Row. So tonight I have 2 estimates from 2 different companies on what that sign need would be, and that would be for 5 vehicular signs, 8 pedestrian signs, 4 municipal parking signs, and 2 bike parking signs. In conversations with Susie and Dean from Public Works, They have some poles that we could certainly use. We would ask for the support of our highway department to help implement the ones that need to be put in that the village doesn't already have poles for or poles in the ground with. So that would be our in-house, but the two estimates, I have one coming in at $3,605 for all of those signs and one for $4,333.70. But I can pass those down.
Is the low bidder the one that we've been dealing with?
The low bidder is the same that produced the signs for the LVRT.
And that, we're budgeted, I mean, do have that money in our budget.
In our actual budget.
Yeah, in the actual for most one, but,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, I don't remember the sample you.
I can certainly
Show us before.
give you my mock-up. If you give me just one moment.
Cold candy?
Sorry, so many email accounts. Was on the wrong one.
Well, you gotta get another phone so you can split them up.
Oh, I wish I had a tablet.
Is there anything else in promote Swanton while she's looking for that?
That's the main thing we've been working on,
We are still waiting for the website developer to
Yeah.
implement the designs on our webpage to make it a little bit more user-friendly. They've had some in-house organizational things that.
Wasn't the contract for it to be done in October?
yes, and it's been going on a long time, and I don't know how much longer we're gonna sit here and wait, because we get the same story as they got problems inside there.
Can everybody see that at that end? And I can happily send this out to you electronically
Yeah.
again, so if you'd like to read it.
You wanna go with a low bidder? Which is one you've
Yes.
been.
Main Street
Yes,
graphics.
that's the one we've been dealing with, and we haven't had any problems with what they've been doing, so.
And then for parking area signs.
Can you send them and I'll post them?
Sure.
Please?
Well, someone wanna make a motion to approve it, it's in their budget.
And the trustees, looked at this last Monday night, Susie brought it to them, cause I didn't, before we brought it here, I wanted to make sure and whatever input, but apparently they're happy with it. I did talk with Neil about it, and he's all for it, so there's no problem there.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of wayfinding signs of $3,605.79 from Main Street Graphics out of the Promote Swanton budget.
Second.
Motion been made in second, any discussion?
Thank you all for your attention.
Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Okay,
Anybody want?
next meeting agenda
Yes, please.
items, we're gonna talk about the sign in the park. Anything else specific? Policy for review, the fund balance policy. And that's one, the voters never voted, that's the one the verbiage is not right. That
Yeah,
thing
we're
needs
gonna
to be
have
looked
to
at, so
Take
tonight,
it and
there's nothing we can.
completely rewrite it to match what we're actually doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Balance budget, balance model, budget policy. There wasn't anything in there that I saw, I don't know if anyone's got any issues, anything they want changed in that.
No.
So that one can come off the list.
Yeah, as far as it's valid the way it is, but we'll look at it in a couple of years, whoever's on the board.
We'll move the fund balance to June. We'll get it.
Well, whenever, yeah, I would say July,
July?
give you a little bit of time, there's other things more important than that policy, which doesn't even make sense, so. Street naming policy. Street address and ordinance.
Did everybody review them?
Stop sign, yeah, I looked at the
Yeah.
stuff you sent, as far as I know, it's good, but I don't drive around checking the road, And I assume Kevin, right, you said Kevin was going out there, so.
Kevin looked at them first
Yeah.
and gave me what he thought needed to be changed.
But that's those two ordinances, this other says street naming policy.
So,
That's different from
street
these.
naming, I don't have my binder.
I have mine, Christina, would you like to use it?
We never got feedback
So
on
we
that.
didn't do anything with the street naming, nobody gave me any changes for that. If you wanna make any changes or if you want it redone, I can happily type that.
I don't think there's any real issues with it. And then
Okay,
the street
that's fine.
address and ordinance. The only thing I would say with well, street address, I don't think there's any issues. If not, the stop sign ordinance and the speed limit, it just reads funny at the beginning. It talks about some report from the state.
That's the way it's supposed
So
to be.
should that, should it
One
be
ha-
on
one
there?
has it, one doesn't. One just says pursuant to the authority, here's our stop signs. The other one says, whereas the selectmen of the town of Swanton have received an engineering and traffic investigation and determined that the maximum speed
Oh,
permitted
yeah.
under Title 23.
You just can't change the speed
No,
limit.
you can't.
You gotta go through
Yeah,
the whole process,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah, so that's
So-
why it's, written.
Well, one of them says pursuant to the authority. I just don't think we need this.
Is that
we don't
stop signs, Joe? Is this
This
stop?
one is.
Okay, cause stop signs, maybe you don't have to do a survey.
No, but you usually say pursuant to the authority.
Yeah, okay.
That's, that, well, that wasn't, you didn't, you guys, didn't let me finish.
Okay.
I'm good with them. Anything else? Everyone good with it?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, you can
Do
sign
you
it.
wanna make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the amended policies of the stop sign ordinance and the speed limit, the stop sign ordinance and the speed limit ordinance.
All right, here a second.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Correspondence.
Okay. It wasn't a letter, but Ed Daniel called yesterday. Ed is on oxygen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He's residing in a Brownway residence in Enosburg. He's doing okay. Difficult for him to speak, but he just wanted to extend congratulations on such a great job at the LVRT trailhead. He saw the pictures, it's absolutely beautiful, and he says it's something really that Swanton can be proud of, and he wanted to thank Joel and the select board for their efforts, and he thought it was very nicely done, and he's very pleased for it, so he wanted to pass those comments along.
All right, thank you. Public comment. I see we still got a couple people up on the screen. Let's keep moving ahead here. Upcoming events.
Thursday, May 21st, 2026, there will be a Swanton Enhancement Project meeting at the Swanton Village Complex at 5:30 p.m. If you're free and available and interested in Swanton, check it out. Saturday, May 23rd, 2026, will be setting up flags for veterans at the town office at 8 a.m. Many hands make light work. Please come check that out. Saturday and Sunday, May 23rd and 24th, will be the Abenaki Heritage Festival at Swanton Recreation in our lower fields. That will be a fantastic time and opportunity. Please come check that out. Monday, May 25th, 2026, will be the Memorial Holiday. Offices and operations here at the town hall will be closed. Monday, May 25th, 2026, there will be a Memorial Day parade down Grand Avenue at 2 p.m. Thursday, May 28th, 2026, will be a DRB meeting, and that is at the Village Complex at 6 p.m. An opportunity for everyone to get involved right there too.
Townwide yard sale on the 30th.
Townwide yard sale on May 30th. There will also be the Swanton Flea in the Village Green that day as well. Lots of great vendors signing up. So many addresses in town. That map will be available May 27th on the rec website as well as our Facebook, and I will send it to all of your favorite places in town for you to pick up a copy if you'd like.
Thank you.
Oh, June 1st will be the Rail Trail Ambassadors Orientation for anybody that's interested in becoming a Lamoille Rail Trail Ambassador or an ambassador on the Missisquoi Valley Rail Trail. That orientation is open to everybody, will be held at Swanton Recreation at 6 p.m. I think that's it.
executive session for personnel.
I can do it. I move that we enter executive session for select board to receive confidential contract, personnel, legal, or real estate information for which the premature disclosure of it to the general public would clearly place the select board and others at a substantial disadvantage.
Your second?
Second.
I move that based on the, okay. And
Motion been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye. Opposed? Anymore? So moved.
I move that based on our just made findings that the premature disclosure would place select board and others at a substantial disadvantage, we enter executive session.
Your second?
Second.
Motion made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
And in the executive session,
Alright, I'll move that we exit executive session.
Gotta do that first. I'll second. Time is it?
8:21.
Okay, motion been made second to exit executive session. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. And I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion made second adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, so moved.